2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Purlwise podcast, knitting all day. Let's look at it together. Purlwise podcast, stitch by stitch, we can make whatever. Stitch by stitch, it's made by your friend Claire.
Hi, I'm back. I just wanted to drop in quickly and do a little everything I knit in 2023 video. I spent all of January trying to do this and it just never happened for a variety of reasons, most of which are brain related, but that's fine. January's hard. It's always hard. But yeah, even though it's February, I just thought it would be nice to take some time to reflect on what I managed to make last year, just because when I had assembled the pile many weeks ago and it just like sat on my kitchen table for weeks, it just seemed like a nice little pile of things, and I was happy to see it. And I think this is a nice like opportunity to show you things and talk about what I've worn and what I haven't worn, and how things are working for me and what I'm thinking about making this year, which, you know, I never really make plans so much as have some vague ideas about what might be nice to add to my wardrobe. So I am wearing something that I made in 2023, but maybe I'll talk about it later. I split things into 3 categories. I've got socks, accessories, and garments in front of me. So yeah, I guess I'll start with socks. These were the first pair of socks that I knit and definitely the most worn. The lighting might be a bit of an issue today, but we're gonna try. They are DRK Everyday Socks, knit in Small Bird Workshop. I think they call it their Barn Swallow sock base. I've talked about this before, but I'm pretty sure it's milled by Wellington Fibers, dyed by Small Bird Workshop, and it's a blend of mohair and wool, Ontario wool, I believe. It's this really nice color, maybe hard to see. I think it was called Forest Floor. It just has nice like green flecks in it. I'm not sure if they're coming across, but yeah. So I did wear these a ton, and then I blew through the heels, like the bottom of the heel, not even the back. You can see they've felted quite a bit. I don't know how to improve this lighting right now. I just want to do this when I feel up to it, you know? Yeah, that's the felting. So I have darned this one, and I used my leftover M to the 3rd mezcla, which I'll show you those socks in a minute. And I just lost steam and didn't do the other one, which is too bad because I think I'd be wearing them if I had. So maybe I'll leave these. They're going on the couch. There, they're on the couch. Maybe that means they'll get darned. My next socks that I made were these sort of self-drafted socks. They have a Flegel heel and these like faux cables. Just took 2 faux cables and alternated them. And these are knit in Alley Cat Yarns Ontario sock, which is, I think, the same or a similar base to the Barn Swallow sock from Small Bird Workshop. And these are beautiful, and I haven't worn them at all, which I feel guilt about, but I think partly because those ones wore through, I just started feeling anxious about these ones, but I should just wear them. Like, that's what they're for. They're for using. I think it's also a hard color to like be immediately drawn to for socks. I think sometimes I look for a more neutral sock when I'm getting dressed. I don't know why. Boring of me, but yeah, they're very beautiful. And it was nice to just like come up with my own little pattern. And I did a bunch of this knitting when I was in Mexico City last February, almost a year ago. So that's a nice memory too, because I loved it there. Next, I definitely started these socks in 2022 and then finished them up in 2023. I think I had lost steam because I knew I was going to run out of the main color. And then months later when I picked them back up, I just cared a lot less and just finished off the toe in the accompanying mini skein that came with it. I've worn these a few times. They're just sort of like an in-between length that isn't like the easiest maybe to pick up. But I think they're really nice. They just have a bit of like felting at the heel. I've worn them probably 3 or 4 times. And they've held up great, probably because they have nylon in them. More and more I'm thinking maybe we need a little nylon. I don't know. I'd like to think that no nylon could work, but I'm not sure yet. And these are the last socks that I knitted last year. And they are another pair of DRK Everyday socks, this time in Mackenzie M to the Third's Mescla sock base, which I think is no longer available, unfortunately. And this is a non-superwash with nylon, which is, I think, what I'd like to look for in socks going forward. So I've worn these quite a bit. They don't quite go up high enough for my boots, so I haven't worn them as much in the winter, but they were very like good fall sock. So yeah, and I really like this yarn. Like I said, I've been using it to darn the heels because I think it's good to have a bit of nylon in that darn. I wonder if I'm just going to try and keep an eye on the heels of these ones. It's not even the back of the heel that I wore through, it's like the bottom of the heel, which is interesting. And so far, they look okay. So yeah, those are all my socks. I went and retrieved them so I could show you all 4 pairs together. I think in my this roundup video from last year, I talked about wanting to knit more socks, and I don't know that I made any more than I had in previous years for myself, but I didn't make none, so that's good. I think I lost a bit of motivation for socks after I wore through these. It just seemed, I was sad about it, and I was like, what's the point if they're just gonna break? But you just have to take care of them. And they'll last, right? They'll last as long as they're gonna last. Cool, so those are my socks. Next I have accessories. And I'm pretty sure the first thing I finished last year was this little red beret, which I knit out of Peace Fleece, the sport DK Peace Fleece. Sorry, I haven't framed this very well for showing off hats, but I think the colorway is called Sokolin Salmon. It was left over from my Great Gingham raglan. Sorry, my computer screen keeps going dark and I keep having to wake you up. And I used, to get the full details, you'd probably have to go back to the video where I talked about this, which would have been from January or February last year. But I used the Wave Run Beret by Albina McLaughlin as a base pattern but I made it a bit smaller, and instead of doing ribbing, I did an I-cord bind off. So I started from the top down with this little loop, which I love. So yeah, I wear this a ton. It's been really useful. I keep thinking maybe I should knit another beret, but I do have another wave run beret, which I don't wear as much as this one. But yeah, every time I think I'll make another beret, I'm like, well, I have this one. I haven't actually been wearing it that much since I got my bangs back. So I'm not quite sure what I would do, but yeah, it's just cute. I took everything off the wall here to make a nice backdrop, and I don't know, just kind of looks bare, but yeah, that's the beret. And yeah, it's a good one. I think Albina has another like basic beret pattern. Is it the stock and pip? Something like that. Which I think would probably give you a similar result. And yeah, the next accessory I knit was my storm hood out of Newton, which I love. Another Albina McLaughlin. This I would wear under a coat. I actually really just love it as a neck warmer in the winter. I haven't worn this, I wore this a lot last year, and I haven't worn it much this year because it hasn't been cold enough. And I also got a different coat that has a hood, so but I really love it. It's so nice. This I would definitely knit another one. And I really like it in the Newton. And the purple is so pretty. I love there are these like, I don't know if you can see, just blips of very purple fiber. I think there's a couple options in this pattern, and I did the flared neck option, so it flares out a bit at the base, so that it fits nicely. And what are the other options? Oh, there's, I think along the top, because you you knit up and then attach the two sides at the very top. You can do a 3 needle bind off or Kitchener it, and I Kitchenered it. And I'd never done Kitchener in like pattern and rib, but I managed it and it came out pretty neat. So that's all I remember about that. It was a good one. And then I guess I only made 4 accessories last year, which I don't know, I feel like maybe I don't usually do more, but the next thing I made, or that I finished, was this Hollis shawl. It's so pretty. And this is a pattern by Orlan Souk. And this I knit in Durham Natura Elise. And I think the color is called Darjeeling. And then this is Briggs & Little Sport in the Hunter Orange, I think. And this, again, I haven't worn it, I'm sorry to say. I need to maybe make more of an effort. I've worn it around the house, but I haven't worn it out. Again, it just like doesn't quite jive with my coat. I actually don't like to be too bulky around my neck. Like I don't like when I can't move. But I hope that this is the only triangle shawl that I have. And hopefully I'll keep trying to style it. It might be more of a like spring thing. I don't know. But I love it. I think it's so pretty. Did I say? Yeah. Orlan Souk pattern. and it was really fun to do. Yeah, so pretty. I love the garter bits in the middle. Like, I just never worn a shawl before. I think this is nice, but when would I wear it? I mentioned this when I first showed it, and a bunch of people said, I can't believe you don't wear shawls when you live in Montreal, it's so cold. But it also, again, hasn't been very cold here this year. Like, everything is melting outside my window right now. I used to have this big snowbank on my balcony, and it's like, I don't know, it's like 6 inches tall now. It's been a weird, I can see steam rising off the roof. It's very sunny today. Yeah, so it's just been a weird winter. We've only had a few days of -20. And usually we have more than that, so I hope my sound is okay. I have the microphone on a different setting than usual, so sorry, you might have been able to hear that somebody was shoveling outside or breaking ice or something. I don't know what they're doing, but my last accessory that I made this year was this hat, which I showed probably in December. It was based on the Tromso hat by Joji Locatelli, but I used the numbers of the Pearl Soho classic ribbed hat. It's knit in woolly mammoth natural sock and I forget the other yarn, but it was like a mohair alpaca silk blend. And yeah, I've worn this a ton. You can see the little top. My friend Rudy called it my dumpling hat, which I think is accurate. And then I ran into another friend on the bus and I was wearing it and they said, your hat looks just like a dumpling. So yeah, this is the dumpling hat, and I think I would do another hat in this style. I really like it. I'm wondering about, the pattern has you make some sort of stitch here, and I didn't really understand, but I might go back in and try to add it because I don't like it when it gets too like this. But I've been too lazy. I do think, yeah, I mean, it's fine. It sometimes bugs me that this, because it's single layer here, you can kind of see my hair through it. Not see, but it's like different tone to the band, but it's fine. It's nice and warm. I actually haven't worn it a lot in the past few weeks because it's been sitting in the pile of things to be shown. But now I'll add it back to my I have like a basket that I keep on these shelves here. I don't know if you can see. This is the shelf in the mirror. There's a basket down here that this is how I store my outerwear. So I'll add it back to the outerwear basket. This I think I've shown before. My mittens. I don't know why I'm showing you all my outerwear, but this I barely wear. I think I made this in 2022. It could use some alteration. Sophie scarf, Sophie shawl, a green wool scarf. This fuzzy headband. Oh, and then squished at the bottom is my other Wave Run beret. So one thing I have noticed accessories wise is I need more mittens. I literally only have, actually that's not true. I have my leather mittens with the knitted liners, which I've talked about on here. Maybe in my first podcast, I talked about these mitten liners that I knit, which are from Knits About Winter. But these I wear most days, although some days they are too warm for me. And then I have a pair of like little mittens I bought at I think it's Simon's or something. And I wear those when I go running, which hasn't happened in a while, but they're more like just whatever. And then, yeah, I just need another pair of mittens. So maybe that'll be coming up soon. So what do we got here? 20 minutes? Pretty good. My last category, which will involve more changing, is garments. So, I mean, I don't have to go in chronological order, but so I'll start with what I am currently wearing, which is the Marigold Tee by Winter's Weather Knits. Sorry, you fell asleep again. I knit this in Purl Soho Santolina, and I don't remember all of the modifications I made. The main one was that I knit it, I'm wearing it with less ease than was intended in the pattern. If you look up the pattern, these samples all have quite a bit of ease and are like quite drapey and loose, and I wanted mine to be smaller, so I knit a smaller size. And I don't know if I can back up and show you. I'm wearing these, maybe I'll show these on a podcast, but I made these bob pants, Stylarc bob pants in some linen. And I really like the length of this. I think it's good. I love this shirt. I think it turned out beautifully. It doesn't go great with this bra. I don't like that it's doing this, but that's fine. I definitely finished this a bit late in the year for like summer wear. And then also because it's white, I felt really precious about it, and I kept wanting it to wear it to like go out to nice things, but all the nice things I was doing, like I brought it with me to BC in September, and every time we went out to like do something nice, it was to eat, and I didn't want to wear it because I spill. I'm a spilly person. So yeah, I didn't wear this as much as I should have. Like, it's so comfy. I really like the yarn. I really like the fit. Like, this like sleeve length I find really nice. The amount of ease is good, and the length is great. So I do want to make another one, I think, and maybe even in the same yarn, but I just can't decide on what color. So yeah, we'll see. I don't want to, for a variety of reasons, I'm trying to hold off on buying yarn till later in the year. But maybe I'll make an exception in the summer or like in the spring and get some Santolina to make another one. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like maybe a pale purple would be nice. I'm also just kind of in a place of, I just didn't like put as much effort into dressing myself as I might this past year. Like, I just had a lot of like body fluctuations, and a lot of like mental health stuff that meant that I wasn't always feeling great. So yeah, I didn't maybe take advantage of my nice things as much as I wish I had. So hopefully, I mean, yeah, here's hoping I feel better this year, but I'm learning that it comes in waves. Anyways, so yeah, this was, I think I finished this Yeah, I must have finished this in September because I wanted it to wear it to twist, and which was in August, but then I had messed up. I counted wrong. Anyways, I had to do it a couple times. So whatever. But yeah, marigold tea. All right, and I will change into the first thing I finished last year. So this was the first thing I finished in 2023. The pattern is the Miserina by Caitlin Hunter, which is, it's written to be like a summer tea pattern. So it's at about a 20 stitch gauge, I think. And I knit it in Holst, super soft, held double. And what can I say about this? So that was the main modification, was that I made it into a sweater. I added, I think I started after the ribbing and then added this corrugated rib with a little rolled edge after, and I did the corrugated rib on the long sleeves as well. I didn't do corrugated rib on the body. It's got a line from being folded, but yeah, I think it's really pretty, and I've worn it quite a bit. Definitely, this is a good example. The first time I ever wore it, I went out for Thai food and got some on it, and I've like tried to spot clean it a couple times, but I haven't been successful. Yeah, I do love this. I think I said the first time I showed it that I didn't enjoy knitting with the Holst, and that stands. Yeah, I don't think that I would. I've thought about doing other projects in it since, and it's just not appealing to me, because of just, it's not nice to knit with. And yeah, I've heard of people pre-washing it, but it just seems like a lot of work. So yeah, it's a good one. And the only other like mod that I can think of that I did was I used ladder back jacquard to carry the long floats in between the flowers, and I think the tension looks really nice. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I started having my focus issues again, and then also the lighting is getting weird, so we've had a big change, but I hope that's okay. I think this looks better than it did before. So anyways, I feel distracted now. The next thing I finished was my pure mesh pullover, pattern by James N. Watts, and I knit this, I think, pretty much exactly to pattern, with, oh no, there was a few changes, but I used the yarn from Les Belles Bouclettes, which is a, sorry, I can't get it on because of my ring. Les Belles Bouclettes is a farm in Van Cleek Hill, which is like kind of between Ottawa and Montreal. And they have a herd of Angora goats. And I had bought this yarn at Knit City in 2022. And then I wanted to use it before Knit City 2023. So yeah, I wore this a bunch in the spring, and I didn't so much this fall. Again, because I just wasn't really like making a lot of fun outfits. Yeah, but I really like it, and I had bought yarn to make another. I did make some changes. I did I-cord bind off on the sleeves, and I omitted the ribbing from the neck. I think it was supposed to be ribbed. I can't remember. But yeah. I like this. I've worn it like this over a black t-shirt, but I've also worn it like under other shirts, so it's a good thing. Maybe I'll try and wear it this week. I'm gonna go out on Friday. Maybe that would be good. I hope the focus will stay with us. I truly don't know why it keeps doing that. Oh, I got fluff in my eye. But yeah, why don't I have much to say about this? I just don't. It's fun. It's nice. The yarn is a really interesting, like, silvery purple. And I had actually 2 skeins of it, and this took less than 1. And I ended up gifting the second skein to my friend Etta, because she really liked my shirt, and so I think she started it a while ago and probably has been, she's doing a PhD, so I think she's a bit busy, but yeah, that's my pure mesh pullover. And again, I should put it somewhere where I can see it so that I reach for it. I kind of worry about, sorry, I have this terrible bruise. I fell the other day. I worry about the fragility of it, but I'm trying to remember that it's pretty strong fiber. I can't remember the breakdown, but I feel like there was silk in it, maybe not. But it's definitely there, mohair and some other fibers, so yeah, pure mesh. Okay, next thing. Okay, the next thing I finished in 2023, which was the bulk of it was knit in 2022, but it's my Marit cardigan. And I truthfully haven't worn this very much. There are some things that I love about it, and some things that I don't like so much. I think it looks good on, but it feels too small. And it could be that I was kind of a different size when I started it. I know I knit the largest size in the pattern, so it's not a super size inclusive pattern, I will say. It's by Kristen Drisdale. But it is very beautiful. I always intended to make a video specifically about this, but then when I finished it and it wasn't fitting quite how I wanted, I lost enthusiasm for that. So yeah, whatever. I still do really love it. I think it's beautiful. It's all knit in Jameson and Smith. I wish that I wore it to Knit City, which if you watched my Knit City vlog, I'm wearing it a bit there, but it was like too hot in there. It does look nice. I don't know. What do I wish was different? When I see myself like this, it looks good. What do I wish was different? I had trouble with gauge is one of the first things. So it's maybe hard to tell, but the gauge on the sleeves is a bit bigger than the gauge on the body. I feel like you can sort of tell. I just really struggled for some reason to get them the same, and I think it would have been a more comfortable experience to knit it at this gauge, but then I think I got worried that the body was going to be too big, which would have been better, in fact. So yeah, I wasn't happy with that. I think if I were to do a similar kind of all over Fair Isle sweater, I would try out some different needles, because I really struggled to find a needle that I was comfortable knitting this on. Yeah, so I think I used like a combination of like really, because I'm such a loose knitter, I was on like 2mm, I was knitting this on like 2mm little ChowGoo fixed circulars, and I don't know, it just wasn't that fun. So I'd probably pick something with a bigger gauge, try different needles, I would have, now having made it, I can see how easy it would have been to actually make it bigger. It wouldn't have taken, like, it's just a box, right? Like, it's a rectangle. So I could have just added repeats in here. Like, it's not, that's kind of the frustrating thing about how unsize inclusive it is that it just needed more repeats and then it would have been bigger. So it's too bad that they couldn't just write that in. I guess that changes, like, you would need to change the armhole depth and all of that, but whatever. I don't think it's that complicated. I'm getting really hot. It's quite a warm sweater. I just, like, something about the way it is across my shoulders just doesn't feel good. I haven't made a lot of drop shoulder things, and while I don't think it looks bad, I think it would look better with more ease. So I'm not sure how many inches I have here at my bust, but maybe like 5 or something. Just think it needed more. So yeah, I wish I had just added more repeats. Because then also if it was wider, this armhole, which is not, it's just like maybe a little too small, it would have been further down my arm. So it would have been less of an issue. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing the steeking. Thought that was fun. I do think the neck hole is a bit small on me also. Like, it just feels a bit tight. Kind of wonder if I kind of like how the length looks, but for this style of sweater, I don't know if maybe I would have preferred it to be longer, but it was bottom up and I think I probably got impatient, or I remember thinking about it a lot and not being able to decide how long I wanted it. It's pretty cropped, like where my pants sit, it's just sort of right at my waistband. So, and I mean, part of what's making it short too is the button band, and I really hated knitting the button band, and I did it so many times and I like made myself crazy knitting this button band. And part of that was the gauge issue, because I think my gauge was a bit bigger at the bottom, and so it was hard to pick up in a consistent way, because you knit the button band and pick up as you go. I think it's been a while. So yeah, I redid it so many times and I just was maybe overthinking it. I don't know. Yeah, so it kind of pulls up here, which I wish it didn't. Maybe I think I might have compensated too much for this difference in gauge down here. Yeah, and in theory I would wear it more, like, I don't know if I would necessarily button it all the way up, but it still does a bit of a kind of tucks in there at the bottom. Yeah, and what else would I have changed? So yeah, I wore this once to Knit City and that was it, which is kind of sad. I've thought about giving it away, or I don't know, but it's really cute when I see it on camera. I just don't, like, I think the shoulder is just a bit too small for me to feel comfortable. Yeah. I also am not super happy with, like, the inside. The finishing on the button band is weird. You were supposed to apply, like, sew down this, like, gross grain? How do you say that? Grosgrain? Ribbon all the way down and then cut holes in it where the buttonholes were, and I don't know. I had seen an example in Ravelry where somebody didn't cut holes but sort of did these smaller sections of ribbon that, like, ended at the buttonhole, And I don't know if that was the nicest. It doesn't, I'm worried it's not the sturdiest. But it works. And then there's ribbon on the other side. Covers up the, actually it doesn't cover up the steek, does it? Yeah, that's the other confusing thing, is that the ribbon which in my mind should cover up the steek, doesn't. It just like stabilizes the button band. Oops, I have some strings to clip in there, but and then actually what I did to stabilize or to like pin down the steek was this, I think I heard about this on, is it Mel Makes? Oh, my mind is blank, but this sort of like overlock stitch, which I did, I guess it's hard to see. Oh, maybe I'll take it off. It was just sort of like a stitch to hold down the steek on the inside. So that steek edge. And I did it in the main color, so it's kind of hard to see, but you can see this sort of these like crossed threads. That was how I sewed down the steek. And I do think that is very neat and tidy. Pretty sure that was a technique I'd heard of from Mel Makes stuff. Yeah, so I did that on the button bands, and I did it for the sleeves as well. And so in the pattern it's written, you're supposed to knit the sleeves with like a facing, which will come out like it would have come from here, a bit of stockinette, and get sewn over the steek. And when I looked at projects on Ravelry, that seemed really bulky. So what I did instead was I steeked and then I picked up stitches all the way around the armhole. And then I grafted the arm to those picked up stitches. And I think that was a technique, maybe I'd heard talked about, maybe I heard Taylor Owen talking about it. Ooh, did I make that up? Yeah, this was all a long time ago. But anyways, so you can see there's a little bit of extra brown there, and that's because there's one row of grafting. But I thought that worked really, really well. So then when I finished off the steek, I did that same like over casting, which I think there was an Alice Starmore video. Ooh, I should have written all these things down, but I didn't. So all in all, this was a lot of work. I am really happy with it. No, I don't know. It was a lot of work. It's very beautiful. I don't know what to do with it. I think it's just gonna live in my cedar chest for a bit. Until I don't know. I mean, probably my body will change again, and then maybe it'll fit better, or maybe I'll find someone to gift it to. Yeah. It was hard to do all that work and then have it turn out not perfect. And maybe looking back, I could have anticipated that it wasn't going to be exactly what I wanted. But there were so many like details, and I was so close to the project that it was hard to see what the outcome would be. But you know, I don't regret it. Yeah, so that's the Marit cardigan, and it's really pretty. I wish that I felt better in it, you know? I think that's just the issue. I don't feel great in it. Okay, next thing. Okay, I think the next thing I finished was this rib lace raglan, pattern by James N. Watts again. Oh, it's so nice. I didn't wear this a ton. It kind of, I think I should have made it longer. I don't know, I just didn't have anything that went with it super well. This is knit in Trailhead Yarns. I forget the name of the base, but it's their like tencel, which is really cool. It feels really cool. I feel like this would be great on like a 30-degree day with like a long skirt, which actually, I'm working on a skirt right now. I feel like it would be nice with this gingham. Maybe this summer I'll be able to wear this. This is the side panel of a Henrietta skirt by Spaghetti Western Sewing, which I've cut out and is not yet assembled, but that would look nice with this. Yeah, I do like this. I maybe wish the sleeves were a bit longer. I've just struggled with this pattern maybe. I have a second one that I knit most of this summer, or no, I guess it was September, and I never finished it. I guess I like this tee in theory, and then for some reason it's just never quite worked out to be what I think it will be. I did have somebody recently commented on my video from last year, my like everything I knit in 2022. And they were like, you keep saying everything's too short, it's too short, it's too short. Like, why don't you just calculate the gauge and then knit it until it's the right length? And it's not that I don't know how to do that. Like, I very much know how to do that. It's just that I don't know what I want, you know? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna like something till I've worn it like a few times. And often I can't imagine. Yeah, I just like need to wear something to know if the length is gonna be right. And it doesn't matter if one length works in one kind of sweater. Like, and maybe that length won't work for this kind of sweater. Like, it's so silly. I know it's probably annoying to hear me being like, oh, it's too short again. I mean, maybe part of that is like wanting things to be over quicker. I know we can all be guilty of probably cropping things too much because we want to be done. But, and you know, I think I do that too because I'm a bigger person. It takes me like twice as long as some people to knit my sweaters. But I just, like, I've been thinking about this recently because I'm trying to go into 2024 like I just want to wear comfortable clothes, but one thing I'm realizing is that I'm just like perpetually uncomfortable. Like, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm just always uncomfortable and I'm always gonna find something to fuss with, and I don't know, maybe it's something I just need to accept about myself. Like, I mean, I haven't talked about this in a long time, but I am autistic, and I think that some days I wonder if being autistic is maybe just constantly being uncomfortable, and that's truly what I feel in my clothes a lot of the time, is that I'm always uncomfortable. So when I don't get the length of things right, it's not because I don't know how to make it a certain length, it's that I truly just don't know what I want, and what I'm going to want. Because I also, like, maybe if this was an inch longer it'd be fine, but if I made it like 3 inches longer, I'd be like, this is terrible proportions, you know? Like, I don't know, whatever. But this is nicer than I remembered it being. I do have more of this yarn, and I could finish it off, but yeah, when I think about it realistically, like, what purpose does this serve? This like very lightweight shirt is probably for really hot days when I'm gonna want something really loose, or really cropped and tiny. So And I could try wearing it over a long sleeve shirt too. But yeah, I love this color of orange. I think I just have trouble, sorry, my ring again, figuring out how to work it into my wardrobe. Like, I think it looks nice with these brown pants, but I think it also looks like too autumny or something. I have trouble putting together outfits that don't have any black in them. Like, I feel like unmoored if I don't have an article of black clothing, which I guess the bra is black. But anyways, that's something I've been struggling with too, trying to, because I've been really loving wearing these pants, but they're brown. And then sometimes I'm like wearing a whole outfit with no black in it, and I feel like wrong. Which I don't know what that's about entirely, but yeah. So anyways, replace raglan. I hope that this is interesting to you. I feel like trying things on makes me go on these long tangents about what is important to me in clothing, and I don't know, it's probably a good exercise for me. But anyways, I hope you're not bored. Okay, one last thing. So if you are bored, it's almost done. So the last garment I finished in 2023 was this canvas pullover by Orlands Souk again. It's definitely, I knit a lot of Orlands patterns and a lot of Albina's patterns this year, and probably the year before too. And I'll probably continue because they're definitely my two favorite designers. Yeah, what can I say about this? This is a mystery yarn. Received, well, my friend Kay gifted it to me, and they got it from their partner and my friend Izzo's family friend who was destashing a bunch of yarn. And I think it feels really similar to Brooklyn Tweed. I can never remember which one's the worsted weight, but this one, Brooklyn Tweed Loft Shelter, I can't remember the worsted weight, which is this. I think it feels quite similar. This is my Grass Whispers beanie by Teddy Litzak that I keep pulling out, but it's a good one. I've been wearing it a lot lately. Yeah, I've worn this a ton. I'm really happy with it. I really love the size and the shape and the color. I think it was not a color that I might have immediately been drawn to, but I'm trying to wear more like cool colors, and I think it fits that bill. Yeah, I just find this sweater really easy to wear. It kind of feels like sweatshirty, but it's like more fancy. I just think it's really nice. There's the sun is coming in, and I'm illuminating the dust on my computer screen, and I can't see myself. My apartment is so dusty. I don't know about you guys, but I just feel like it's a never-ending battle, and I'm allergic to dust. Okay, I'm really going on some tangents, but yeah, I think I knit this like exactly to pattern, which is funny that I always feel like I should be making more adjustments, but I'm pretty sure the length was to pattern. Yeah, it does like kick out in the back, but I've always kind of liked that feeling of like breeziness in the back. I just think it's really, really nice, and it's holding up quite well. Let's see. Yeah, like there's not really any pilling. It's like a bit fuzzy. Well, there's some pills, but they were so small. And I've lost count of how many times I've worn this. When did I finish it? I don't remember. Maybe like November or something? October, November? Yeah, if you want to hear more about it, I don't know if there's much else to say. But yeah, like for instance, this outfit, which is brown pants. Like I have worn this outfit, and when I look at it, I'm like, that looks fine. But I just feel like everything needs some black to like anchor it. And often I'm not wearing a shirt under this right now, but it is for me next to Skin Soft, but I'll wear like a black t-shirt because I frequently get too hot and have to take my sweater off. But yeah, it took me a while to feel comfortable in this outfit of like brown pants, purplish sweater. Anyways, just more thoughts. But I feel like this is a really nice one to end on because I am really happy with it. I wonder if maybe the sleeves get, like, I feel like I do find myself pulling the sleeves down a bit. I think they may have been, they're just kind of getting pulled up by the elbow, like getting eaten up a little bit by the elbow. If that makes sense, eaten up by the elbow. It's just, you know, your sweaters wear and then they get a little shorter. And that's fine. But they could have stood to be a bit longer. I think I'm starting to feel more comfortable in a longer sleeve. I think I really liked a bracelet sleeve for a long time, and now I'm wanting things to be a bit longer. But yeah. Ta-da! Yeah, that's everything that I knit that I finished for myself in 2023. I do have something that was like on the verge. I finished it in the first week of January. So I think I'll just save that for the next podcast, because it wasn't officially finished in 2023. We're keeping things very official. Yeah, I think overall it was a good year of knitting. At first I felt like, I only finished 3 sweaters and 3 shirts this year. But I think that, I didn't go back and watch my video from last year. But I think I had said I wanted to lean more towards some different things and away from sweaters, because I do have quite a number now, and I know that I don't need infinity sweaters. I'm never gonna stop making them for sure, because I think that's really my favorite thing to knit is sweaters. But yeah, I feel good about this amount of sweaters. I hope to have a similar amount for next year. I think three sweaters finished a year. I'll probably have more this year, honestly, because of that one that kind of straddled both years there. Yeah, it's a nice little pile of things. Yeah, so what do I think moving forward into this next year? I definitely think I would like to have more socks, and more just like plain boot socks. And part of like this podcast thing is kind of a double-edged sword, in that it motivates me sometimes when maybe I don't know, maybe motivation would be lacking. But also when I think about making plain socks, I'm like, that's not very fun to show, you know? I'd like to be like trying new techniques and showing like new exciting designs. And we can't always be doing new and exciting. We also need some restful knits and some practical knits. So yeah, trying to balance those things this year. Trying to make sure I'm making things that are comfortable. And yeah, trying to not worry. I don't worry too much about being super productive and making a lot of things. That's not one of my main concerns, especially now that my cedar chest, I'm looking that way because my room is over there where the chest is, but now that that is like quite full, I feel maybe a bit more stressed about producing too much and having too much. But yeah, just trying to continue to make at a reasonable pace. What other goals do I have? I would like to do some more sort of like self drafting, or maybe a little bit of designing. Something I'm thinking about going forward. I have some ideas and we'll see. I don't know. I would like to start to be a bit more creative. I'm hoping. I feel like the creative part of my brain hasn't really been accessible to me for the past few years, because I've been in pretty like big time of burnout, like basically ever since I started this podcast. Before that too. If you haven't already, Mackenzie from M to the Third has a really wonderful video that she just put out about burnout and making, and yeah, it really resonated with me. Yeah, so, and again, I want to keep trying to do things that aren't knitting as well, because I was not feeling very good. I was gonna say 100%. I never am 100%, but because I was feeling bad through January, pretty much all I could do was knit, and I start to resent it when it's all I can do, because I mean, it is really handy for those times of, in some ways it can be handy for times of like burnout and low capacity, because you're just following instructions. But I start to wish that I could do more when all I'm doing is when all I'm capable of doing is following instructions. I start to get frustrated. Like, I really had a lot of sewing plans, things I wanted to make this month, and yeah, just didn't work out. So I don't know. We'll see. I always am aiming to make a video a month, and it doesn't always work out. I'm trying to be more patient with myself, and I hope that you all will still stick with me, even though I'm not a very regular poster. But yeah, we'll see what 2024 has in store. Rhyme. Yeah, and I've been not super active on Instagram, but I'm there and I'm looking around and I'm seeing what people are making, and it makes me happy. So if you want to follow me, I'm at Purl_wise. And yeah, this is probably enough rambling. I said I wanted this to be short. Say that every time. But I hope you enjoyed. That was everything that I finished in 2023. And I'll probably be back with a podcast pretty soon, because I have more stuff to show you and I have lots of spinning to show off. So I hope that that's interesting to you. Yeah, well, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.